Hey, welcome back, everybody. It's time once again to meet our community, the Hispanic community here in Orange County, powered by the Orange County Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, and brought to you, hosted by the man who knows everybody, John Gutierrez.
Hey, everybody. Welcome, everybody, to our community podcast show powered by the Orange County Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. I'm your host, John Gutierrez, Senior Vice President here. And let me tell you, with us today, we have one of our superstar community leaders. She has won Ambassador of the Year this year for our Estrella Awards for the Orange County Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. She's one of our longtime members, dedicated, just always willing to help out. With us today, we have Norma Mora, which, of course, I've mentioned. She's a community leader, Estrella Awards winner, Ambassador of the Year. And she's in the mortgage industry. She's a loan officer for PRMG. And she does a lot of financial professional, I guess you could say consulting, advising, right?
Services. Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Yes. Thank you for being back on the show. I think you were with us about a year ago.
Something like that.
Something like that, right?
Yeah.
But she's back because, I mean, she's a superstar Estrella Award winner. And I want to start off and say first and foremost that for those of you listening or viewing us, our Estrella Awards has been around 25 years. It was started by some of our founding members, and it's at Disneyland Hotel. This year it's going to be April 12th. We've already sold 700 tickets, which is pretty insane.
What?
Yes,
700
yes.
tickets.
And if you've ever been to this huge ballroom at the Disneyland Hotel, right, Norma? It's a beautiful ballroom.
It is. It's pretty amazing to think that we get to do this every year. It's exciting.
Yes. And I know my wife personally loves the whole red carpet gala because of the dresses. I mean, what is the one part that you look forward to or that you're excited about at the Estrella Awards, would you say?
So it's like, when you go to high school, you have your prom and you have all your friends put together.
I
when
never
you
thought about that.
And
yes.
when you have your quinceañera or your wedding, you bring all your family and your friends together. So this is like that for our community.
You know what? That's interesting you say that. This is our kind of like a big
Like
quinceañera.
a big, yes.
Well, I'll tell you what. For me, about, 15 years ago, I walked into Estrella Awards. I was invited by a friend. This is before I was involved with the chamber. And I was there, and I remember walking in and going, whoa, who are all these, people, right? Like, who are all these leaders in the community? Very impressive just event, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. You meet so many people from, people that are just starting their business to corporations, congressmen, and
Yes.
it's just incredible.
A lot of politicians.
Yes,
and a lot of nonprofits.
a lot of nonprofits as
So
well.
it's a little bit, it's like a melting pot.
It
wouldn't you
is.
say?
Everybody comes together, and we're just there for one reason, and it's everybody's happy. So that's another exciting thing too. So
Definitely a very positive event, except this year, of course, Norma, for those of you that are not familiar with our chamber, we have what's called our ambassadors here at the Orange County Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. And why don't I let Norma share what is an ambassador? What do our ambassadors? I know, but let's let the public know. What do they do?
well, I'm glad you asked. When I first joined, let me just tell you, John, I wasn't exactly sure what it all meant. I have to be honest. I was like, that sounds really cool. I want to do that. So I went and talked to Carol. And
Shout out to Carol Robles,
yes,
who leads
you.
our ambassadors.
Absolutely.
Who, by the way, is a volunteer and is one of our board members.
Yes. And I, little by little started learning what it was, what it meant to be an ambassador, how to follow the brand, how to represent the brand of the Orange County Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, meeting all those people, going to the networking events, helping out, whether it's from setting up to greeting people, making them feel welcome, making sure that you attend those events and that you follow through with making the connections as well.
And that's one of the benefits, I would say, right, Norma? I mean, you can attest to this. I was once an ambassador, and I found that by being involved as an ambassador with our chamber and being a greeter at an event, or let's say our golf tournament, which is another one of our popular events, you get to be in the forefront. You get to be there right away, welcoming a lot of the big, I don't know, I guess you could say corporate people, corporate sponsors, just networking opportunity right at the forefront. Wouldn't you say that's kind of one of the benefits?
It is a big benefit because you get to meet everyone, like you said. You're the first face that they see. You have a smile, you make them feel comfortable, and you make them feel welcome. And it happens so too also when you go to a networking event. You see people that are used to networking, and they're there, they're mingling, they're talking. But then every now and then you see someone that maybe it's their first time going to a networking event. And I always watch out for those too. I go up to them and I introduce myself and I let them know, what we are about.
You know what? I want to say that is something that I'm so glad you brought up, because I remember when I went to my first ever chamber event. This was like many, many years ago. And it was not our chamber, it was another chamber. And I remember walking into this business networking event, and I must have walked around for about 20, 30 minutes, and nobody greeted me. Nobody said hi to me. And I felt very awkward. I didn't know what a chamber was, why, I should be there, other than somebody told me about it. And of course, we have our business. And I walked out and I left. And so I think the point that you just made is so important. If you see a new face, it's important that we welcome them, right? That we greet them.
That they feel that this is the right spot for them. And you learn about what it is that they do, whether everybody's looking to, again, connect, grow their business, make those special connections. So when you ask the right questions and you show interest in what they're doing, they automatically, feel more comfortable. They like you. They feel that, okay, I came here for a reason and I'm in the right place. So.
Now, I will say this year and last year, wow, our ambassador group has just grown so much. Wouldn't you say?
Yes, we have a big group, which it's pretty amazing.
Shout outs to all of them.
Yes.
They're watching or listening. Thank you for all you do, as well as thank you to you, Norma, because again, ambassadors are basically business owners that just want to be more involved, more hands-on, and they're at our chamber helping out, volunteering. I was one at one point in my life too. And then eventually, of course, I became a board member and I'm now the senior vice president. But being an ambassador for me was like being around a familia. Wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. It's incredible to see how they support you and how they want to see you succeed. Sometimes you come to them and you share your struggles or something that you may be questioning, and they're there to support you. And sometimes they know you well, sometimes they don't, but either way, that you can count on them. So it is like a familia. You're right.
And we've had many of our ambassadors on our podcast show. I know you mentioned after this show, you're going to go hang out with one of our other ambassadors, Sol, right?
Yes, I am.
In her spa, right?
She has a spa, yes. So as you know, we have this Estrella Awards coming, so I'm going to go get some body sculpting done with Sol.
That's big right now, right? That's like the big thing right now. The whole beauty business,
Yes.
right? The beauty industry, getting ready for big events, whether it's the Estrella Awards or a big wedding or a big quinceañera.
Or just to feel better by yourself.
That's true. That's true. I know that lately you've also been working out with
Yes,
Jessica,
absolutely.
one of our other members who was also on our show. And people that watch the show or listen to the show, they probably don't realize that we as members or you guys as ambassadors, it's not just going to like a chamber mixer and that's it, and then you leave. A lot of you are actually friends and you hang out
We do.
after the business mixers, right?
Absolutely. I had a gathering at my house actually for the holidays. So, I had a full house of ambassadors and people that I've met through the chamber event. So that was pretty awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, I also want to say it was really nice to see your family came out to the VIP reception.
Yes, that was
right?
very special. Yes, two of
Yeah.
my sisters, they actually drove one from Hemet and the other one from Moreno Valley. So that was Hemet.
Moreno Valley?
Yes.
Wow.
absolutely.
Hey, saludos a las hermanas.
Thank you so much for joining me. That was very special for me.
Por el apoyo, huh?
Yes, absolutely. That
What
was
did you
really
think about our VIP reception? Because for those of you listening or watching for the first time, before our big gala, which is coming up again, April 12th, our Estrella Awards, we have what's called our VIP reception, and that just happened last week. And that's where we first present our award winners, which of course Norma was one of them. What was that like? It was at the Segerstrom this year.
It was very exciting. I have to say, when they say they hadn't hit me, well, that moment it did.
Did it really?
It did, because I was like, when I was first told that I was Ambassador of the Year, I was excited. I was nervous. I didn't know. I'm like, okay, what happens next? What do I do?
Yeah.
So then the VIP reception, that was the first introduction to the community, and we had some very big community leaders show up, and that was really cool. And it was at the Segerstrom Center, so that was
Yes.
another place that's absolutely gorgeous. A lot of people, a lot of positive energy.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. And what was really cool, shout outs to the Segerstrom for hosting us. They actually invited us to stay and watch a performance, right? And that was really nice.
I
The
did. I
orchestra
stayed for
was
that, yeah.
practicing, right?
The
For like
orchestra-
a big show.
Yeah, that was neat to watch too, because I hadn't seen I had gone to this center for other events, but I hadn't heard the orchestra. That was really neat.
And
too.
that's the thing that I think a lot of people that watch or listen to our show may not know. you know, as the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, we have this great group of ambassadors, business owners, leaders, right? But also we have these bigger organizations like these corporations, right? For example, the Segerstrom that many of you know, which is across the street from the Costa Mesa, you know, South Coast Plaza Mall over there, right? And they're one of our partners. So whenever they have events, they reach out to us to help promote their events. And in return, whenever we want to do something with them, they welcome us in. And so I remember walking into the VIP reception and just going, wow, what
It's
a beautiful,
absolutely beautiful.
venue. So
Yes.
if any of you haven't been to the Segerstrom, it is just beautiful, right?
I remember looking at, I even went online to look at it. I'm like, okay, what am I going to wear? Like, what is this? So it was like, wow, this is a gorgeous venue. And I'm like, yeah. So, and even my sisters were there too, and they were very impressed, you know, to go to that. I know we have our
What's
events.
that like for you? Like to have your sisters there and your family and you're being like, you know, put on this pedestal, awarded in this beautiful venue.
It was really special. So they see me, they see my posts on social media for other events that I attend and that I share what I do, but they were there in person that time. So that was really neat. Like, yeah, just go do your thing. I'm like, I'm gonna be back. Okay, I'm gonna go say hi to some people. And they were like, yeah, go ahead, go do your thing. And so that was really neat. Yeah.
You know what? It's interesting. I think that sometimes our family doesn't see that side of us, right? The other side of the element, which is Norma Mora, the businesswoman.
Right.
Norma Mora when she's networking, right? Your family's probably like, wow, we've never seen that side of it.
Exactly. They don't get to see it. So that when they first heard about it and they inquired about it, I'm like, can we go? I'm like, yeah, go ahead, let's go. And and they showed up, and I was happy that they were there. They actually, I was like holding them, like, hey, meet my sisters. Like, that was really special for me. And they also were like, oh, there's some big names here. I'm like, who are these people? We had the Mexican consulate. We had people
right.
from, like you said, big corporation. We had Disney. We had Edison. So there was a lot of people there that they got to meet.
The ambassador, the former ambassador of the U.S., Mr. Gadi Vasquez, who's part of our chamber, one of our advisory board members. Just, I mean, when you look at someone like him, and if you Google who he is, I mean, he's worked with many of our presidents in the history of the U.S., and he's part of our chamber. And for him to be there and attend our events and just be so proud of all you guys that are winners, you know, it says a lot. And he was also at our big youth chamber women's event. He was the MC.
He was there. I was there too.
Yeah. And what'd you think of that event?
That was really neat, just to hear all the panelists and then to see the students. And they were asking some really good questions. I'm like, we have a good group of the youth that's coming into the workforce and the professional world. I was like, this is very, it's nice to see that, you know.
How long ago did you learn about our chamber? When do you remember that happened, or how did it happen?
So it happened about 5 years ago when I went on my own to become an independent loan officer.
Oh, okay.
You start networking, you start going to mixers, and then you meet one person and then another, and then next thing you know, you meet John, and next thing you know, he talks about ambassadors. I'm like, oh, you know, so that's how I learned about the chamber.
Yes.
I'm like, okay.
You know what? For me as an ambassador, it was a great opportunity to share, obviously, my business at the time, what we were doing, what we do. And so we're all trying to obviously work hard to navigate ourselves into a great opportunity to obviously generate business, right? That's the objective of coming to these events. But sometimes you meet people that are doing some great things in the community, right? Whether it's great leaders like Mr. Gadi Vasquez, whether the young lady you met that night with Edison, right? Whether it's, you know, obviously La Consul de Mexico, right, from Santa Ana, who was there. I mean, people like that show up in Estrella Awards on April 12th. If any of you have not attended, which, by the way, we've already sold 700 tickets, and we're probably going to cut it off pretty soon. If you've never attended for like the future or next year, you definitely want to ask Norma. You can reach out to her. How can people reach you, by the way?
They can reach me social media, Norma Mora. They can find me on all platforms. I'm now also on TikTok. So
do you do TikTok videos?
I do TikTok videos, but
really,
you know, not
my
those...
sister's been big into that.
Really?
I'm still trying to figure out TikTok. You know,
I'm new. I'm same. I'm right there trying to figure it out. But
I noticed that my wife loves watching TikTok cooking videos.
Okay.
That's like pretty popular. The cooking videos. Yeah, that's like they get a lot of views, you know?
My son is into that actually. He'll every now and then he'll be like, "Mom, look at this. Can you make this?" Okay. Yeah.
You're like, "I got it. I don't got to watch a video," right? Speaking of cooking, what is your favorite thing to cook, for example?
My favorite thing, that's kind of hard because I enjoy cooking. I do. So birria is one of my favorites. A lot of people like my birria, so I want to say birria.
Birria.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, you make it of beef, birria?
Beef birria.
And let me ask you this. When you make it, do you also make quesadillas?
Yes, that's a must.
Yes, because our kids love that. When my wife makes it, oh my goodness. And basically, I know we're going to make, Mr. Paul Roberts hungry over here. He's like, what are these things?
What is it?
Basically, birria is shredded beef, right?
Shredded beef.
Marinated in a special
Very
sauce.
well seasoned,
Yes.
and when you have that the consomme, that's and you make your quesadillas, you dip it in the
Yes.
consomme. That's like
It's like a
delicious.
long traditional recipe in our community, right? Wouldn't you say?
Yes.
Did you learn how to make it from your mother or from the grandmother?
Just by watching, by asking questions and getting those special secret ingredients and things to do. Yeah,
Now, our family's from Jalisco and Michoacan. Where's your family from?
Guerrero.
Guerrero.
Guerrero,
Oh, so
yeah.
I wonder if there's a difference, right? How you make the birria. Everybody makes it a little bit different,
Yeah,
right?
I'll have to share some video.
we
with
should
you
we should
sometime.
have a birria like festival,
Ooh, that's a good one.
right? You know how people have tamale festivals and other festivals? We should have a birria festival.
That's a good idea.
Maybe we've just come up with an idea for the chamber.
Maybe.
huh?
There you go.
And so any of you that are members of our chamber, if you know how to make birria, maybe that's because I'll tell you what. Last year we had an event at the Delhi Center for Dia de los Abuelos, and we volunteered. My wife and my sister, and my mom volunteered to make some birria, and they made this nice pot of birria for the elderly there. I couldn't believe how fast it just
went, yeah.
it flew. Like, and there was other foods there. But it's just something about that warm broth, the meat, the
It's
shredded.
very comforting.
Yes, it's
and
very comforting with tortillitas.
There's so many flavors.
And a lot of
yeah.
people put like different stuff in it, right? Also, like after once you make it.
You can top it with like cilantro or onion and add more, spicy to
So
it. too.
Norma Mora's birria is coming to your local grocery
My new
store
business.
soon. No, we joked about that. My wife and I joked about that once because we often go eat. My boys love these bowls that they make, like the chicken bowls and the steak bowls, like at Waba Grill, and it
Yes.
has rice, right? And I remember telling my wife, I'm like, why doesn't somebody invent a birria bowl? Just Mexican,
birria.
but Mexican rice. Keep it simple, a little bowl, and then birria on top, and just sell it a birria bowl,
birria bowl.
because we did that at our tour drive like 3-4 years ago at the Rumba Room. We made birria bowls.
Okay.
And everybody loved the idea because it was just a simple concept. And you take your spoon and you have your Mexican
Delicious.
rice and a little lemon on the side, and boom,
that's it.
You're ready to
Yeah,
go.
you're ready to go.
So birria bowls from Norma Mora will be coming soon to your grocery stores.
To your grocery store.
Yes. Tell us about the loan industry. What's that like right now? Because obviously you're in that industry. What are we seeing? What are we hearing from that side of the business? Of course, you are with PRMG.
Yeah, so on the loan side, a lot of people we hear out there, they're still waiting for rates to come down. They have come down, actually. If you compare it to last year, they have come down to the end of last year. But, people are still waiting for those to drop to make a move. But a lot of people are still also actually buying too. So it's like, do you wait for rates to come down or do you lose out on the appreciation of the properties? Because as you probably noticed, home prices are not coming down. So, yeah.
What is the biggest challenge you maybe see or hear as a loan officer when you're doing loans?
What I'm noticing right now is people are, because of the home prices, people are not qualifying for the home that they want. So they're having to move outside of the area that they would normally want to live in.
So a lot of times it's, is it you or would that be the real estate agent having to convince the family that, this might not be the right area for you. You might have to move outskirts, right?
Yeah, it's a combination of both. It's
Okay.
sitting down, and that's where it comes, the advising part of it comes in when it comes to my role, is making sure that not only can they afford the home that they're looking to buy, but also is that a home that is feasible and comfortable for their family size and their needs. So it's a combination of both. And then, of course, working with realtors that know the areas, that know the price range, that will fit the criteria of the home that they're looking for. So it's a combination of both. Yeah.
Well, if anybody out there is looking to get more advice or more information on the loan side of the business, I think it's important you reach out to Norma because you've been doing this for a while, right?
I have. I've been in the industry for 25 years now.
25
so,
years.
yes,
So
absolutely.
I'm sure you've seen the ups and downs of it.
Yes, ups and downs. I went through, the 2007, 2008 crash, all of that on and off. But it's something that when you look back is when you understand it, and you can see that although we have those downs throughout history, the mortgage industry keeps going up.
Real estate will always go up.
It would always
Especially
go up.
where we live in Orange County.
Exactly.
Or even now, I mean, it's even booming in Riverside, right? I've seen homes in Riverside for like 700,000 that back in the day were like 300,000, right?
Everything. I mean, I mentioned Hemet. I mean, people are moving to areas where there's. I have some people that are buying right now in Banning, new construction in the 400s.
Victorville's popular.
Victorville's, yeah.
And that's far. My niece lives there. And I'm like, Victorville? And it's a good, I mean, what would you say, hour and a half?
But
maybe?
I think that people, it's very common these days to commute.
Yeah.
So I think they're more open to going, even if they have to drive a little bit, and to achieve their dreams of home ownership.
I think the other thing that a lot of people don't talk about, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, is, for example, the new generations are not having as many children as our generation. So they're also able to adjust to the fact that there isn't a much, like with us, it's hard to move because our kids are in certain schools. So if we wanted to just pick up today and move to, let's say, on the other side of town in Riverside or somewhere, it'd be hard because our kids go to school in Irvine. Whereas to the new generations, a lot of them are like, oh, I just want to have a dog. I don't want to have kids. So that may make it easier to move, in
to
the
make
outskirts,
a decision. Exactly.
right?
That, and also they either having children at a later time in their life, so then they
Very
can
true.
get their homes. Not I bought my home when I was 23, and now I'm seeing older.
Congratulations. 23.
23.
Wow.
So now I see people maybe in their 30s starting to think, okay, home ownership, and then have their family.
Yes.
So yeah, that's
a lot of
definitely
it is
changing.
just a matter of the decision, right? But I will say, I remember when we were kids growing up, the interest rate when I was a kid growing up, it was like super high, like 10% or
Like 10%,
12% or some crazy
14%,
number.
yeah.
Of course, the houses back then were like 200,000, right? So a lot of it is just depends on the interest rate.
And it's all
right?
relative too, because when you think about it, if you compare interest rates now to back in the day, well, yeah, they seem low compared to 10-14%. But if you compare maybe to like 5 years ago, your interest rates are high. But also, the gallon of milk was not as expensive as it is now.
Eggs.
Gas.
Eggs. Wow.
Exactly.
$13, I think I bought eggs the other day.
Wow.
Yeah,
So
it's-
everything is changing. And again, home appreciation is there. And when you wait another month, you wait another year, you're losing out on that appreciation too.
Well, first and foremost, I want to thank you, Norma, for being such a great ambassador, for being, for people that don't know, our ambassadors are all volunteers. So thank you to not only Norma, but all of our ambassadors, because it really means a lot. When somebody volunteers, they're doing it out of their goodness of their heart. And that says a lot about that person. And so I want to congratulate you again for being our ambassador of the year for 2025, depending on when you watch this video, for the Estrella Awards. And I want to just say, we wish you all the best. Of course, on April 12th, when you're going to walk on stage and, of course, receive your big award.
My big award.
And
Thank you.
And your speech is going to be on the big, video there, right?
Yeah, it's really an honor to receive that award. It's going to be I'm happy my boys are going to be there to celebrate. And it's truly an honor to know and think that a lot of people believe in me to be able to be awarded this year. As you mentioned, we have a big group of ambassadors, and it means a lot to me that I was the chosen one.
Yes. And so with that, folks, I know we've run out of time. Paul's been giving me the stinky eye. Did you have a question or something, or comment?
I just want to make sure.
Yeah.
How do somebody want to know if they still want to get tickets? Where do they go?
So if you want to get in touch with us at the Chamber, the best bet is to go to OCHCC.com, which is our Chamber website. You could also reach us at our Instagram, which a lot of you are viewing us there, or on Facebook, depending on what video you're watching. Leave us a message. You can send us a message on Facebook. You can send us a message on Instagram. On Instagram, it's called a DM.
A DM, exactly.
Right? I still don't know what that means, but it's called a DM.
It means you don't miss it.
You don't miss
there
it?
you go. I
Is that
like
what it means?
Don't miss it. Direct message.
Oh, is that? Oh, direct message. There you go. So send us a message, and we can get back to you and let you know at that point if we still have tickets available, because we are running out of tables. Even though the Disneyland Hotel is a beautiful, huge, ballroom, and it's
an incredible place.
But
Yeah.
believe it or not, it gets filled pretty fast.
It's magical.
Yes. And I think one of the coolest parts about our event is when you arrive. I don't know if this has ever happened to you, but it's happened to me. It's like Mickey Mouse would be walking right by, or like, like one of these characters,
Yeah.
like right there, and you're like, whoa, let's take a picture,
Exactly.
And
yes.
I'm in my tuxedo,
And
you're in your
my nice
dress,
gown.
yeah.
Can I give you my 2 cents? I went
Yes.
last year for the first time,
Okay, you went for the first time.
and I said afterwards, it's like the Academy Awards.
Oh, there you go.
They
See?
make you go
It's
up
like
on
the
stage.
Academy Awards.
We have a red carpet.
Red carpet.
Yeah.
People are dressed to the
T.
out to the T, whatever. And then when you win, they don't just shout out and say, "Oh, okay," and then you stand up and people applaud. You go down
Yeah.
like you do in the Academy Awards. You
Yes.
walk up the stage, and they make you walk all the way across the stage.
Yes, yes.
And
You get
somebody is
escorted and-
escorted. and
Yes,
everything.
and shout out to our youth chamber, our ambassadors who help out that day. People don't realize, and shout out to Edna and of course Ruben, our president, and everybody, our planning committee. There's a lot of work to Paul's point that he just said. It is the Academy Awards for us. It's a black tie, obviously the beautiful gowns, but you're right, Paul. For the first time, it's Ruben, our president, and our committee. It's very big about making sure that people feel special.
Yeah.
That people remember this day.
And what struck me is I asked some of the people who won afterwards,
Yeah.
why? I mean, they're literally crying, and,
Yeah.
and people are
Yeah.
there to support them. And I said, "What is the big
very
deal?"
emotional.
And they said, "It is very emotional." And they said, "Because think about it, we all in our lives. I don't care where you come from.
Yeah, yeah.
We don't get recognized very often."
Well, I'll give you a quick summary because I know we're going to leave soon here. When we won, OC Hospice won, I think it was Member of the Year, Business of the Year. This was about 5-6 years ago. I invited, of course, my mom and my sister and my family. Of course, my wife was there. And I never forget when my mom kind of just looked at me like, wow, what is this, right? And, for me, it was like very emotional that my mom was in awe of this beautiful venue, this beautiful event. And
To see that recognition.
the recognition we were winning this award as a business, because my mom had seen all the hard work we put in, right?
And it isn't just
Mm-hmm.
the community that turns out. That does turn out.
Exactly.
It's the greater our community. You got the giant corporations
Yes,
there, and
big
giant
corporations.
entities and giant
Like Norma said, a lot
universities
of the politicians are there. Big
Yeah.
politicians are there.
everybody comes out to see who's
yeah.
who that night.
Yeah, I got to say, when we had Edward James Olmos there a couple of years ago, were you there?
I was there.
The speech he gave was just like, wow.
I'm looking forward to this year. Like it's gonna be incredible. So like
and this year we also have who he was on our show, Andy Vargas, the lead singer for Carlos Santana. He will be performing at Estrella Awards.
Wow.
So we're excited. And Adam Lasher, who was on our podcast, together they're gonna, who's the nephew of Carlos Santana, the legendary guitarist. So both of them will be doing a performance together at
Wow.
the Estrella Awards. So I'm looking forward to
I
that
am
too.
too, very much.
So special night, special event for special people.
Yes.
Congratulations,
Thank you.
Norma, and
Thank
to
you.
all the other winners, of course. Congratulations to them.
Yes,
And, thank you all for tuning in. And, of course, if you want to contact Norma for any questions about her being a loan advisor, of course, feel free to reach out to her because we're also all about
How do
supporting
we
our
do
businesses.
that? How do we reach her?
Norma Mora,
Now
right?
that she's an ambassador, she's probably unattainable. She's in that,
No,
you got to
no.
go through people
Plenty
who
of
know
time
her.
for business, right, Norma?
Always time for business.
Got to make the money.
Yes, absolutely.
Got to pay the bills.
So how do
That's
they
it.
how do they get in touch with you, Norma?
So they can find me again on social media, or if I can give my phone number out.
Please.
Yeah, 714-365-2494 is the way to reach out.
Or an email. What's your
Or
email?
an email, yes. So my email is nmora@prmg.net.
Awesome. And again, folks, April 12th is our Estrella Awards. Follow us on our social media, OCHCC. Like you see here on the TV, OCHCC. And ask us any questions, or if you want to attend, let us know. And again, thank you for being on the show, Mr. Paul Roberts. We've run out of time. Thank you so much for everybody tuning in. Norma,
Yeah.
we will
thank
see you April 12th.
See you April 12th. That's right.
Felicidades.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Well, there you have it. Tune in each and every time to see stories like this and learn what's happening in our community. Powered by the Orange County Hispanic Chamber of Commerce and Orange County's only community radio station, OC Talk Radio, streaming live from our studios here at the University of California, Irvine's Beale Applied Innovation Center.